alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to start your day with me, Maha Mukhdoom and Shahzad Khan. And just before I let Shahzad say hello, we'd just like to give our condolences from all of PTV World to all the lives that were lost, and our thoughts and prayers go out to all those family members who are suffering and to the people who have unfortunately lost their lives.
Exactly, that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. In the past 5 days, there has been 10 militant attacks in Pakistan as well. And we as a nation, we are definitely trying to stick together to each other and then see, or probably seek towards a positive image of Pakistan as well. And, you know, for all of those people who want us or Pakistan to be known as probably a country which sponsors terrorists, well, that's not how it is. It is obviously the other way around, but then there are forces who actually want this to happen, and we are not going to let that happen no matter what happens. And the condolences and prayers for definitely for everybody who's actually lost their loved ones. And you know, the prayers actually goes out to us as well. I mean, for whose family members weren't even involved in such tragic incidents, because we really have to be careful now. And I think that's going to be our public service message as well, that when you go outside, we have been saying it for the past 3 days as well. And once again, I'm going to emphasize it on that, you know, whenever you go out, please make sure that you look around, and please make sure that you do not go to malls, you do not go to bazaars unnecessarily, because of the fact that I mean, the threats are there.
Exactly.
And you know, I've been sharing these letters from the agencies as well, that, you know, which areas, particularly in Islamabad, F7, F6 Markaz, Centaurus Mall,
And
please
it's
make
also
sure.
common sense as well. You know, the popular places are, and the thing is not to bring fear or instill fear in all our viewers' hearts, but it's to say that be careful, because, you know, bad things are happening, and it's happening all over the world these days, and it's very unpredictable.
Yeah.
And like Shahzad said, unnecessary movements, I mean, especially because there's a high alert, I think everyone should just be a bit safer and very vigilant as
Even
well.
schools and hospitals are at a threat too, so please make sure that you guys be very vigilant. So that's the
Exactly.
public service message.
Yes.
Other than that, moving up with the
Yeah.
news, well, that's, I think, was the saddest news ever, and that's how our week has been. But now moving on towards PSL, because, you know, that's something with which we can probably get rid of our frustration, with which we can probably forget for a while about the pain we are going through and the sufferings we are going through. So yesterday it was a very, I'm not going to say historic match, but it was a close match as well in between Lahore and Karachi Kings as well. So Lahore Qalandars won. Obviously they were supposed to win, because Karachi Kings haven't been performing very well. But it was a high score match, and I think Karachi Kings lost by 7 runs only.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
that's what it is. But Karachi Kings, people are expecting more out of you guys. Please make sure that you guys start working hard, because the only thing you guys know what to do is probably market your own selves, because you've got a biggest satellite network to promote you. Please make sure that you perform in the field.
Exactly, because, you know, people are rooting for you guys as well to win. But today we've got a very important subject that we have to discuss. And this is something I think also ties in with the current situation as well of the world. It's about, we've always talked about the importance of art, the importance of having artists and supporting them, and how they are a reflection and they are also a window into that society or an era of that time or a generation. Now, we've never discussed the conservation and restoration of art and how important it is. And within Pakistan, when we have such a huge history, and we have so many old pieces, you know, we have antiques, we have historical artifacts, how important is it in Pakistan, and what kind of work is being done here?
And then, Maha, at the same time, I think conservation holds a very important point in its own self as well, and that is that, for example, for the generations to come, when they'll visit all of the museums or probably, you know, historic places, what would they think about it if,
Exactly.
you know, the pieces are not in shape, or the pieces are not as a full piece? And then other than that, in times like these, where we know that, you know, the terrorists are going crazy, for the peaceful image of Pakistan as well, I think it's the artists, it's the painters, it's the singers, it's the people who are going to promote the soft image, and they're going to keep on doing that. And that's the sole purpose that we have invited them over here on the show as well. We will definitely talk about conservation, but we will definitely talk about, you know, promoting the soft image of Pakistan as well, and how, with the help of conservation, can we promote the soft image. I
Exactly.
think that's a very vital point.
Yeah, exactly. So to discuss this topic, we've been joined by Ms. Hina Mehboob. She is a digital artist, and she also does work with museums and restoring historical artifacts as well. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. Besides Ms. Hina Mehboob, we've been joined by Mr. Shahzada Maudud Alam, who is a conservator of art. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
And he has been based in USA since 1965. He's the director of another museum as well, I think. We've got the details which we will be sharing with you guys, and then he's got a special story to tell us about the President Nixon as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
wonderful. So let's get started. We'll start with you, sir. How important is it in Pakistan to be aware of conservation and restoration of artwork?
Pakistan has a very rich history in art as well as in architecture, and the artists who have done tremendous amount of artwork on the buildings, on painting, on sculpture pieces, and unless we restore them and conserve them for the generations to come, if nothing is done, we are not going to have anything left for the future generations
To look forward to, right?
to look forward to.
But then, other than that, there's one more thing which I wanted to ask, and that is, so let's get started with that. You're the director of Halka Zauq Arbab. What's that?
Halkaya Babazok.
Halka Arbab Zauq. What is that?
This is Halkaya Babazok of North America.
Okay.
Some people have gotten together and they have formed this halka over there. We get together and talk about things like paintings, like literature, philosophy of life, and human relations. And we hold our meeting once a month.
Okay.
And I'm one of the directors and the founders of this halka.
So is it just Asians being the member of this Arbab
No,
Zauq?
no, not just the Asian.
How do others understand what the name is?
Because we have a translation of the name.
Okay.
What we call it, the Literary Circle of North America.
Literary circle.
Literary Circle of North America. Literary and Art Circle of North America.
Okay. Now, you have this in America, but like you said, it's about preserving it for future generations to come.
Yes.
There'll be nothing left.
Yes.
Now, within Pakistan, we, like you said, we have, ancient artifacts, like we have different Buddhas, we have different pieces. We also have artwork from
Yes,
very
yes.
old. Now, what is this level of the quality of restoration and conservation? Because I know that UNESCO has different, I know Aga Khan also invests in preservation. So what are we doing?
And then before you answer that, people need to know what is conservation of art as well.
Conservation of art, let me say, there are two aspects of anything. First one is conservation, and the second aspect is restoration.
Right.
Whatever you have, be it a piece of furniture, be it a piece of sculpture, or be it a painting, you first conserve whatever it has. If there's a decay going on, if there's a deterioration process in progress, you stop it right there.
Right.
First you conserve it, and then whatever the parts are missing, you reproduce those.
Right.
And once the reproduction starts, that is the portion that we call restoration has started.
Okay.
So first you conserve, then you restore it, and the pieces like the artist just left it.
Now, with more structural pieces, it's quite obvious if there's mold, if there's decay, if it's broken, etc. So it's relatively, from a layman's point of view, easier to kind of restore and conserve. Now, with artwork, with paintings, like I remember watching a show on certain pieces of Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like the Americans because I know the French get really upset with that. But what kind of quality of expertise do we have within Pakistan as comparatively to other countries? Is that why we're getting funding from other people, or you need certain specific bodies?
I have seen some good work of conservation and restoration being done in Pakistan, but it's at such a small scale
Right.
that it doesn't catch the eye at the international scene.
Right, okay.
Whereas most of the people who have visited Pakistan from, let's say, from America, they all come back and say, oh, there's so much of work, there's so much of artwork laying here and there, but nobody's paying any attention to it. Look at some of the old buildings and the artwork that has been done, and incorporate it into the architecture. It's decaying and it's rotting, and nobody seems to pay any attention to it. Actually, people are not aware that while the building is being repaired, the artwork should also be restored.
Yeah.
So they don't know the value of the work. So Hina, you work in this area as well. So tell us, what are the museums, what are the people living in Pakistan, what are they doing about this? Are they trying to go around the old buildings, check out the artwork, make sure it's being preserved?
Okay, actually, with the museums I'm working, they're actually renovating and they're actually restoring old buildings. Like in one of the museum I worked in Kuldana, that's with the name of Pakistan Gallery. That was like something 200 years old building. So we restore actual architecture, and within that, what we did, like we displayed and portrayed culture and heritage of Pakistan, because this thing is missing in Pakistan right now. What I think, like culture and heritage is identity of our country and of every nation. And I guess there is no recognition without it everywhere, wherever you
now,
go.
you know, you both highlighted the importance of preserving this culture and this heritage. Now, how do we educate the average person in Pakistan? Well, this, like you said, you know, there's so much there's so much work to do. How do we raise awareness of the value of these historical pieces? I'll ask you, sir.
The basic thing that needs to be done is the people have to know what the artwork is,
Right.
and what sort of part it plays in our lives, what it's going to do for us, and what it's going to do for our generations to come.
Share that with us.
Yes, yes. And once it needs a little bit of education that should be given to people, that this is artwork and why we should preserve it, why should we restore it.
Okay. Now,
I
having
think let me check whether we've got some pictures or not. I think we do have some
must have
pictures,
some.
and if we have some pictures, I think people will be very interested in looking at them as well.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, you're mentioning in Halka Arbab
Zauq.
Halqa Arbab
Zauq. You discuss art, you discuss literature. Now, what was the significance or the reason for being part of this kind of, you know, environment over there, and how will it kind of have effects on other people around you?
Well, basically, when we get together, we talk about literature and human relations and the literature that's been produced.
Yeah.
And also some of the, we have discussed, for instance, literature written by Mirza Ghalib and Allama Iqbal, Faiz Ahmad Faiz. And there are two schools who take Ghalib as a poet.
Okay.
And then there's another school that takes Ghalib into a high level of tasawwuf, ecstasy.
Yeah.
And I belong to that school.
Okay.
All right.
In my opinion, Mirza Ghalib was not just a poet, he was a waliullah of high order, and he spoke to God Almighty. If we went into talking about that, we'll be discussing another topic altogether.
No,
But
so no,
things
yeah.
like these we do discuss. And then, for instance, Abdul Rahman Chughtai, who was a Pakistani artist,
Okay.
many of his paintings, we display them and
Okay.
talk about it.
So you're taking it abroad, you're raising the awareness,
Yes.
and
No,
that
but sir,
is
yes.
wonderful.
Over here, I do have a point, and I think
Yes.
I would love to, clear my own
Sure.
thoughts about it. And that is that since you have been based in USA since 1965.
Yes.
This Halqa Arbab Zauq is obviously based in USA as well.
Yes,
You're
yes.
a Pakistani by heart.
Yes.
You are. And you know that the scene over here about conservation is not on a bigger scale, or does not
It's
really.
a very minor
Yeah, it does
scale
not
over
really-
here, but it does exist in
Yeah,
Pakistan.
It does,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, the existence there, but it's
Syntaxilla
not.
even.
But it's not making waves over the international market as well.
Precisely.
So in that respect, what are you doing as a Pakistani for Pakistan to groom in such a field?
It's very disgusting and hopeless. I have tried to talk to the press attaches
Okay.
and the consulars in Pakistan embassy and told them that this is what these are the things that we can do in Pakistan, but nobody pays any attention.
Thank you very much for highlighting that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they all say, they all think of me as a crazy person.
Okay.
He brings the art topics that nobody is interested in Pakistan. And I have told them many times. There was a press attaché over there recently I spoke to him many, many times. I don't want to mention his name.
Yeah, don't.
And then his predecessor was there. I spoke to him also. And one of the earlier predecessors who has passed away, I used to have long talks with him. Several times I invited him on a dinner table and discussed things in detail. He would say, oh yeah, Shahzada, we'll do something
consider-
about it.
okay, so
but beyond that, nothing ever materialized.
Okay, so it seems it's not very high on the agenda for a lot of people. Now, to bring it into people's hearts so that people realize the importance of it, and I want to bring into you're also a digital artist. Now, how do we create that value within our people? Because, you know, obviously we are, you know, the government is working on the educational
Exactly,
programs,
sure.
and until people show an interest, then, you know, the resources are not going to be relocated. So how do we get the people to realize their, you know, their own inheritance, really?
Okay, what I feel like there should be we should organize events like they are focusing on culture and heritage of Pakistan. Like electronic media is very strong media, and I say that PTV is really playing positive role on that while displaying and portraying positive image of Pakistan. As we know, all of the time, a lot of channels, they are creating negative image. So it's very important on every person, individual. As an individual, it's our duty as well.
Yeah,
So
but the thing is, you can say it's an individual duty, but if that person doesn't have the education, they don't have the awareness, they haven't seen these things, so how can they be their responsibility?
Okay.
Whose responsibility is it to educate these people,
Okay.
apart from the government? Like, how
it's
do
like,
we play a
it's
role?
like we should create with that I was coming to it, like we should create some events they are related to, like in urban, in like villages also, where we can like get them involved in like, different activities.
Okay, that's a wonderful idea.
I
Now
don't-
you're working
I
with the
don't think
museum.
that this will work because
I think it is. Wait 1 second. Let
No,
me critique
yeah,
it.
I've got a disagreement.
Okay,
over
wait
here,
first,
yeah.
but let me first question it, then you can disagree.
There,
no, wait. So,
there are different organizations which are doing all these things, like through art also. Recently, I was also invited in some exhibition that was for little art, and what they are doing, they have started from like cities, and now they are focusing on villages side also, and lot of work gathered that we didn't also have an idea. And even in we also had a calligraphy exhibition, and lot of people from all over, like even from Pakistan, even like in northern areas, they also participated in that.
Calligraphy
So
is
it's
very
all about
beautiful.
that, how we create like a buzzword, how we communicate message to someone, and electronic media is really a strong media. And one more thing we can also do with the help of social media as well.
I think the internet can play a very pivotal role as well, but just because you said that, you know, in rural areas such exhibition, not even if exhibitions, I think that just going over there and displaying the pieces of art will work. I will disagree because of
Why?
the fact that, you know, I've been mentioning quite a lot of times Maslow's hierarchy, you know, their basic needs first of all, which needs to be fulfilled. I mean, in areas of Pakistan where you do not get two
No,
times.
we have very good culture.
We do have good
okay,
culture.
We have
I'm
good
not saying
culture,
that.
and we have good
I'm not
culture
saying
in
that.
northern
You have
areas
to
and
listen to
everywhere.
this.
No, we're not saying
You know,
that.
you can speak on your turn,
No,
and,
right.
and that is that, you know, for people who really are in dire need of food, clothes, you know, safe, clean water to drink as well. How do you think that they'll be interested in something which is beyond their
obviously-
imagination?
Okay, but Shahzad, you're not going to go to
Precisely.
those.
See?
Yeah, but
See?
you're not going to be going to those areas where people are starving.
That's what she said.
No, that's not what she said, Shahzad. That's not. She was saying you take it to the rural areas.
Yeah,
There are villages who are
we can
surviving.
initiate things over there.
Yeah.
It will
They're
be
not-
actually fun activity for them
Then
as
there is a
well,
way for
right?
that. Let me produce a way for that.
That's such a
Now,
black
for
and white
example-
approach.
Now, for example, if that's what you want to do, what you need to do is you probably need to go see the leaders of that village. You know, tell them about it so that they, in their own way,
Obviously.
induct.
Obviously, we
It's
go like
obviously
that.
you
It's obvious.
adapt it.
We can only do through these ways, and it's also a government responsibility as well to initiate these things in
Why
different
do we
schools
always
and
involve
colleges.
government?
Because
Because
it is
because
the government.
Art's from within. For everybody who's in love with art, I think they'll
It
probably start
absolutely-
working in that direction.
Absolutely, it's no one's blaming the government. What they're saying is the government has a responsibility to create
events
these
and-
environments, and
Yeah.
it is
Exactly.
the government's role in every single country. So anyway, so let's ask us, sir, what do you think about this? We're having a very interesting discussion about it.
Well, the thing
that's
is, I strongly believe that unless the tummy is full, you don't think too much over here.
Absolutely.
So we first have to fill the tummies. But beside filling the tummies, there is some piece of artwork while we are doing so many other things, we can divert a small portion of our resources towards some preservation.
Okay.
Some preservation, in my opinion, is better than nothing.
Okay.
No preservation. So to do that, the thing is, most of the things over here, unless the bureaucracy cooperates with you, you don't get anywhere.
Yeah. So that's
You
something.
propose anything to any of the officials, first of all, they will show you a stiff neck. They don't talk to you like you are a human. They think that you are at a very lower level and you are talking about something which is none of their business.
Exactly.
So how do we make it relevant to everyone? How do we make everyone like? So I mean, this is what you do in America. You know, you're spreading the words. You're
What
showing
would
the
happen
art.
is, one of these days, one of the big shots in Pakistan would have something valuable and it would get damaged, and he will bring it to some expert person out in the West that please do it.
Exactly, because he will know the
And
value
let me
of it.
tell you one thing, without any self-praise or without putting any butter on my own face, the kind of work that's done in my studio, it's considered to be the best in America.
Excellent.
And mashallah, I not only get work from America, England is considered to be capital of restoration.
Yes.
But right now, sir, we've
Yes.
got one more important
Yes.
thing to ask before we wrap up the segment.
Yes.
So let's talk about, the amazing story which you have to share about President Richard Nixon as well. He was
President
the
Richard
37th
Nixon, I'll be
president of
glad
USA.
to. I have had, in my portfolio, I have done work for a lot of VIPs. Nixon was one of them. I have worked for President Nixon's daughter, Tricia Nixon Cox.
Okay.
She's a collector of Meissen china.
Oh wow. Okay.
And Meissen china is considered to be the finest china
Yes.
that has ever been produced in the history of mankind.
Wow.
She used to collect Meissen china, and some of the Meissen china was broken and needed to be restored. She shopped around and found out that a young man from Pakistan does excellent work in Alexandria, Virginia, and that's how she contacted me.
Excellent.
And this was in 1973. Said, my name is Tricia, I collect some china, and this is what the quality of the china is. Can you do it, can you do the restoration according to the standards of Meissen? I said, ma'am, why don't you try it? And so she said, well, if you can come and pick it up. I said, I don't go in for picking up the things. Unless you make my trip worthwhile, I won't do it. If it's only one piece, you bring it to me. She said, well, I'll give you 3 or 4 pieces, so please come and visit me. I said, what's your address? And she said, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I didn't know that 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue was the address of the White House. I went over there and I found out I'm standing in front of the White House.
Yeah.
And I went to the main gate, and the main gate said, why are you here? I told them. They said, go to the west gate. That's for the services people.
Okay.
I went over there, they checked my IDs and took me inside the White House directly to the presidential quarters, where anybody hardly gets to go from the public.
That's amazing.
And there she was, and she showed me her pieces. And once I did first batch of the work, she was my permanent client.
Wonderful.
She still is.
So it's all about quality and expertise. And excellent. Wonderful.
So, Alhamdulillah, again I would say, without any self-praise, we do the best work when it comes to the restoration of the objects. Among my clients, I still have the active clients, I still have Senator Dianne Feinstein.
Okay.
She is one of the very prominent senators.
Yes.
She used to be mayor of San Francisco before she became a senator, and then ever since she has been in Washington D.C., she's been my client.
Wonderful.
Many ambassadors and many of the VIPs, including Elizabeth Taylor,
Oh wow, excellent.
they have been my clients.
So come on, Pakistan, wake up, see what amazing people we have doing this work. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your
You're
time
welcome.
and
You're
talking about
welcome.
a very important subject. So guys, We need to preserve our history. We need to play value to it. And with that, we're going to go for a short break.
And when
Shazad
we're
is
going to,
have-
yeah, and when we're going to come back, you know, there's something very important we're going to talk about, and that is, for example, if you had a
Oh.
massive or a very beautiful piece of art and it's broken now,
Yeah.
how would you feel?
And
Probably
it's-
you'll get tensed, right? I think
Exactly.
that's what we are going to
And
build
also
up
other
on.
things are making us tense these days. So let's go take a short break, and when you come back, we'll discuss this. Stay
Breaks are
tuned.
necessary. Thank you.
Just like the billboard paintings performed in Pakistan, there is another indigenous form of art performed in Pakistan, and it is the truck art. With its all colorful floral patterns, depiction of human heroes with creative aspects, ratios, calligraphy of poetic verse, and drivers' words of wisdom. This form of art is truly a part of Pakistani transport tradition. Many trucks and buses in Pakistan are highly customized and decorated by their owners. These adjourned vehicles are considered as moving art or jingle art. Because of their unique decor style, these vehicles are quite distinct in layers from other trucks around the world. Each part of the vehicle is decorated differently, with variations depending on the regional style. In Pakistan, a truck driver owner usually pays $3,000 to $5,000 for their vehicle's external decoration. The art embellishes such trucks according to the particular tastes of the driver. Nearly every city in Pakistan has a unique decor. The Balochistan and Peshawari trucks are heavily trimmed with wood. Rawalpindi and Islamabad trucks have permanently featured plastic work. Camel-borne ornamentation is commonly seen in trucks decorated by Sindh artists. These trucks are also representative of different local, historical, and cultural regions of Pakistan. Thus, these trucks are also representative of different historical and cultural regions of Pakistan, the enchanting arts and crafts of Pakistan.
All right, people, welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned to PT World. You're watching World this morning alongside Shazad and Maha Makhdoom. And
Yes.
earlier today, we were talking about conservation of art and architecture itself. But now we're going to move on to another segment where, for example, if you had a very expensive piece of art and you know, it's not in the right shape now, you will be tensed a bit. Or probably, you know, the type of trauma we're going through these
It's
days.
going to cause you blood pressure.
Yeah, it's going to cause you blood pressure. It's going to cause you
High blood
stress.
pressure, sorry.
And then you call it hypertension. Maha just
Exactly.
can't hold it inside, but it's perfectly all right. Okay, Maha, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I like to express myself and I like to say things that are bugging me, but I don't get high
and,
blood
and
pressure.
the way she says it,
Yeah,
you guys need
but,
to.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I'll
don't
probably
get,
record it
Okay, wait,
somewhere.
I will. No, so basically, hypertension is it's abnormally high blood pressure. So they think my blood pressure is going high, but it's not. I'm just getting very angry. That's all it is. But no, we've been joined by some wonderful guests. We've got very short time, but we have been joined by. I'm going to get the guest names out as well. I do have them. But we're going to be discussing it because with everything that's happening within society, we need to understand how to manage the things that are going on around
Exactly,
us. Correct?
and you know whenever we talk about managing things, obviously it can be managed. When they say, for example, when you talk about project management, time management, there are different ways to do it. So how come that we cannot even control our own stress? It might be because of the food we are taking. It might be that we're not going to exercise.
Exactly.
There's always a cause behind it. So we'll
Exactly.
discuss all of those causes.
And so we have been joined by Dr. Sonia Bakhtiar. She is a general practitioner. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum
Thank you so
assalam.
much for joining us.
Thank you very much for calling.
Besides Dr. Sonia Bakhtiar, we have Sonia Bakhtiar. We've been joined by Professor Mohammed Islam Chauhan, who is part of the Government College and the Department of Physics. Assalamu alaikum. Good
Walaikum
morning.
assalam.
Thank you
very
so much
much.
for joining us.
Thank
So,
you.
Dr. Bakhtiar, we're going to start with you. What is hypertension? I mean, I gave a very brief.
Very
definition.
briefly, for a general view, we can say it is the increased blood pressure, which is usually not even reported.
Yeah.
Which this, if we go into the medical, it's like 140 and 90 milligram, more than that.
Okay. No, keep talking to us. Don't get confused. Okay, so our guest is very nervous today. She's getting distracted with all our hand signals to our producer. So you're telling us about hypertension. So it's high blood pressure, abnormally high blood pressure.
Abnormally high.
Okay.
Which can be due to stress, due to the current.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look at me. Just answer the question. It's okay. Just relax. It's all good.
This
Sorry.
is basically increased
Okay.
blood pressure.
Now, who suffers from hypertension?
Well, initially it was not that common, but nowadays as our lifestyle has changed a lot, these diseases have termed as the lifestyle diseases.
Okay.
Hypertension, diabetes, hypercholesteremia, all these things have become very common. Usually obese people with a sedentary lifestyle is the basic prime reason for the increased blood pressure.
Okay, so this is probably why hypertension is quite prevalent within Pakistan because lots of people lead very.
Actually, it is not even that much surface as it's the tip of the iceberg which is reported.
Okay.
If we conduct a proper screening program, we will come to know that there's a number of more cases.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's what we want to talk about. What are the causes of hypertension?
It's obesity, sedentary lifestyle.
That's
Usually
it.
people are not working.
But you just said it's just tip of the berg, right?
No, that's the tip of the iceberg for the different illnesses that it could be.
Yeah.
That
There
could
could be
trace.
underlying diseases, but usually if we just talk about hypertension in particular, the disease itself it's not a disease, it's just a presentation.
Yeah.
Usually when
Of
the
a
people
disease, yeah.
of diseases when they are reported in our OPDs.
Okay.
But actually, if we screen the general community, we will come to know there's a number of people who are not even reported.
Okay.
They do complain of headaches, they complain of back pains, they do complain of dizziness,
Shoulder
fatigue,
pain.
shoulder
I have
pain.
back pain, so maybe I do have hypertension.
If you get your screen, you
And
might
you just
be.
said
Okay.
it in the start
I
that
know, I
you
thought I
do not
didn't.
get blood
But see,
pressure.
well, this is what I'm
You
learning.
need to get screened.
Yeah, so this is what I'm learning. So maybe these symptoms might be that.
Let's ask
So-
Professor Saab.
Yes.
No, people just become hypertension just for nothing.
Okay.
Why you are becoming hypertension? No, I am 16 years old.
16?
More than 60 years. More than 60 years. No,
Yeah,
I am just
mashallah.
young. I feel fun.
Okay.
I enjoy all my life. Just to release your hypertension, first of all, you have to say your prayer 5 times daily.
Okay. If you're
Go-
Muslim.
Yes. If you want to go to become a released person, you have to go to the mosque to say your prayer 5 times a daily.
That helps
then
you.
Have a walk for 15 to 20 minutes, and then drink one boiled glass of water
Okay.
with 1 spoon of honey. It was the habit of our Holy Prophet.
Okay.
It will all the disease will be removed.
So basically, what Dr. Sonia has said, you need to, get in touch with your spiritual side, become active, start walking.
Actually, that's what my concept is. That's how we have started under the label of activities, healthy activities.
Yeah.
to get at the people, to get at the community, that they should start eating better. They should get back to the basic foods instead of those fast foods, frizzy drinks. Even we are working on that. People should be more towards the physical activities. Sports should be back. People should walk more. Even yesterday we had a similar kind of activity at the fast food. So, to see
At the fast food?
At the fast
Yes,
food.
yes.
The
It's a great,
concept
great
was,
thing,
the
Dr.
concept
Sonia,
was
yes.
eating fast food.
Collecting the people for
It was,
release
eating
of
fast food
attention.
is not
Yes.
harmful. But if you work properly, if you do activities,
Yeah.
if you're physically active, it won't affect.
Well, yeah, obviously within moderation and, stepping out. Now, okay.
Well, how can there be moderation when you've got Big Mac and double cheese patties?
because you're not supposed to eat it every
Then you work out equally.
And
Then.
you shouldn't
No,
even eat it every day.
It's just to release your tension, you have to change your lifestyle.
But sir, I think I'm going to
Yes.
agree to your point over here, because according to World Health Organization, the new definition of healthy us is the spiritual, mental and physical health.
Physical.
So
Well-being.
the spiritual well-being is there obviously in it too. So you really need to connect, whether may you be a Christian, a Jew, or probably a Muslim, or whatever,
Hindu,
religion you're,
Buddhist.
Whatever religion you
following.
follow, religion is not the matter. The matter is
How do we
connecting
get
to your
spiritual
soul,
well-being in
connecting
other
to
ways?
your spirituality,
Okay. Now,
connecting
how do
to
we,
a
okay.
healthy.
Now, someone who is suffering from hypertension, there's a lot of stresses these days. Like we talked about in the other segment, that people worry about paying the bills, having enough food to eat.
Even
the
driving in
security
the morning
issues,
is a stressful thing.
driving. And
I was
especially
just
with-
coming
Not in
to.
Islamabad at least.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
still you
these
get that.
days it is. But no, tell us, how do we now start to manage it? Because if someone is who's suffering from hypertension, clearly doesn't know how to manage the.
See, first of all, basically you have to go for your diet modification. Dietary habits should be established with more cautious. You should decrease your salt intake. Even sugar these days are being asked to be taken reduced.
Okay.
Then we can add more fresh fruits. We can add more fresh juices. A glass of water, 8 to 10 glasses of water per day can improve your health to a
Okay,
very
but
good
how
level.
fatal can be hypertension? Let's talk about that first, because
Actually,
you
it
said
can
that there,
result
there are a
into-
number of people who do not even get screened for that. So for all those people, because they say that it's like you're sleeping and somebody came over to kill you as well. That's how it is. It's a nightmare, hypertension, and that's what it is, and we need to pay attention towards that. So for all those people who have actually never
They
ever been
should-
to a doctor to get themselves
For that
screened.
reason, they should visit their nearest GPs, general practitioners.
Okay.
They should get themselves checked.
But how fatal can it be?
It can actually result into any end-stage disease like your kidney failure, your vision loss, even a stroke.
Yeah.
One can just have, one can die during sleep.
And what are the symptoms of hypertension as well? Will you sweat, or
So
will
you
feel
said
something
some of them. You
different?
said
It's
back
different
pain.
from person to person. Some will
Some
complain with
person
headache,
feel headache,
Headache, fatigue.
headache. Some people see, oh, I'm feeling
pain,
back pain.
generalized.
I get back pain.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Yeah,
Actually-
that's why you're feeling hypertension.
Okay, so now
We
we
should be
talked about
screening
different
you
ways to cope with it. Now, say these things aren't working and you're still feeling stressed. So you're trying to make lifestyle changes, but things aren't allowing you to. If you have a big family, if you have to work, or all these things. So is there any medication people take for hypertension? Like what
See,
are
there
the?
are medicines
Apart-
according to the type of hypertension you are suffering, which needs to be given by proper consulting.
Yeah, these are the for psychiatrists. They
That
should
is
consult the
properly to be done.
psychiatrist.
But
There are so many medicine there.
But for
Okay.
everyday
Psychiatrist,
person,
yes.
any person, one should try to de-stress themselves.
Okay.
How can you de-stress yourself if you're already stressed?
mean,
That's
we-
what the problem
but
is.
That
Just
is
ask
the
her.
But it's
actually
what
that
Suzanne
is the
said.
problem.
That's
That
what we
is
need
the
to ask.
answer.
Yeah.
Like you are conducting a program.
Yeah.
This is a stressful job. If you go
No,
out
it's
and
not.
have
Yes,
a
it
good
is.
Wow.
No, why not? Why not?
Why is it not
you have
stressful?
You have to come early in
I
the
take on
morning.
all the
You have to
stress.
become.
Yes,
you have to
it
prepare
is.
each
That's
and
why I'm
everything.
here.
No, no,
You have to
but-
prepare all the things.
Okay.
That's you have tension.
Okay.
You have
No, no,
tension.
no, no, no.
Oh.
now, if
I
you
think
just
that-
take
that-
a
that's
your
what I would
love to
corridor,
talk
that
about.
would be suffice.
I'll stop. First of all, he doesn't prepare
Okay, let me-
everything.
let me-
Everyone does it for him.
Let me do it myself, okay?
Yes.
Since you're being so bold. So the fact is that if you're
Bold,
going to love what you do,
Yeah.
I think that's when it's not going to cause stress.
Even
I
then,
mean,
if
every
you-
day. Sir, please let me speak.
Oh,
Okay.
Shazad.
So I want people to be in love with their jobs, and if you're not in love with your job, please, first of all, you do not have to think like that, oh, you know, what's going to happen, or, you know, I've done this, or, you know, my clothes do not look right. You know, that's what ladies do usually in the morning, or my makeup's not right, or I'm running
never
late,
done that.
or I'm running
no,
late. That's going to cause you stress. But for me, as a person, my opinion over here is
Actually, that is a
that
relieving factor.
you just have to be in love with your work.
Okay.
Yes, even that.
See,
if you have
enjoying
love,
what you
even-
do.
One at a time. So, sir, we'll start with you. We'll come to you.
Okay.
Yes, you say?
Even then, if you have love is with your job, then you are intense that if something go wrong, oh, my boss will be angry with me.
Exactly.
There's a tension.
No,
There's
I've
a
got such a
tension.
good boss.
No, no.
Okay.
That's what
and-
creates
If
no,
something
okay,
program
okay,
go
wait.
wrong, oh, my director will ask me, oh, what happens? Why these words were spoken?
We ask our
Okay,
directors and
okay.
producers.
Okay, so that's one aspect. So you were saying?
See, personally, I would say कि if you have a hobby which distresses you, it's
That's-
the best option.
Riding horses.
And also another thing is I would
Riding
like,
horses,
Yeah.
making pictures.
Any hobby. So
Anything.
I would
You
like-
make jewelry.
And I make jewelry, and I have started remaking jewelry. But I would disagree with Shazad. I think even if you love what you do, it is stressful to the extent of that if you care enough about it, you want it to be good, it causes
Yes.
some sort of tension.
Here lies the point.
Whereas, because I love my job, but
Here lies
you
the
guys
point.
cause
Here
me
lies the
stress.
point.
You guys.
Here
You
lies
guys do.
look
Okay,
at
and on that note,
Yes,
we have
yes.
actually run out of time. Thank you so
On
much.
that
I'm
note-
agree,
Yeah,
I'm
thank
agree
you
with
very
you.
much for calling us
Yes,
over.
I'm agree
Yeah.
with you.
On that note, okay, he's going to stay quiet, and
Yes,
I'm going to just
and-
wrap it up.
Exactly. No, but you're not, are you? So anyway, no kidding.
We just
I
jokes.
love working with you. It's absolutely great.
Same here.
Yes. So that's what we've been
Treat
doing.
on you,
Yes. So with that, do log on to our Facebook fan
With
page,
the name Well This Morning.
our Twitter page,
Well This Morning without
our
G.
Daily Motion and YouTube
Well
page,
This Morning and Well This Morning.
and the repeat is
It's going
that.
to be at 5 past 11
Oh, wait,
p.m.
wait.
And there's one more thing which
I
I,
would like
want
to
to
say
say.
something as well.
And that is that, ladies and gentlemen, all of the stress which you do have in life is usually because of the overthinking too. Please make sure that you don't overthink.
And they say that I read this one thing that if overthinking burned calories, I'd probably be dead. So, but with that, do be careful, do be vigilant, be safe, look after your surroundings and the people around you, and have a wonderful weekend.
One,
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we
and
have
pray
to-
for more.
Yes, exactly.
1, 2, 3. Good morning.